December 17, 2009 panel meeting. Is there a second? For those in favor of approving the minutes, raise your hand.
The motion passes unanimously.
Next item on the agenda is Chancellor's update. I would like to invite Chancellor Klein to provide us with an update about
all of those schools were the lowest 10% of overall performance school-wide. Mr. Chairman, we have in the past closed down large schools. It's never something that is easy, but time and again, whether it was at Bushwick, or whether it was at Monroe, or whether it was at Vanderchild, or whether it was at South Bronx, and time and again, we have found, Mr. Chairman, that we can do better for our children, and that's what it's about. I have no intention to play the blame game. Others can do that. My intention is to say we need to do better for our children. We've heard from a lot of people, well, some of these schools have a lot of special ed students, and some of them have a lot of English language learners. And the truth is, Mr. Chairman, we have got to do better for our special ed students, and better for our English language learners. And once again, I ask this panel to listen carefully tonight, to deliberate effectively, but I ask you also to think, each one of you, is this a school that you would send your own child to? Because in the end, we don't have schools for other people's children. We have to have schools for all our children. It saddens me, Mr. Chairman, that there are people here who are unprepared to listen. And people who do not listen are typically people who are unconcerned about the dialogue, but only about shouting others down. I hope the panel is prepared to do its duty this evening. Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We have many speakers who have signed up for public comments on the school utilization proposal.